Welcome to the channel, where we dig deep into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and shocking coin values that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Rarest coins. Today, we're focusing on a coin that nearly every American has handled at some point, the Lincoln cent. But we're not talking about just any Lincoln penny. We're talking about the 1963 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary coin. Billions were made, it's easy to find, and it's not even that old. But what if I told you there are some versions of this coin that collectors are paying thousands of dollars for? And in one mysterious case, even up to $1.7 million. You don't want to miss this. Let's go back for a moment and explore the history of this coin. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time a real person was ever placed on a circulating U.S. coin. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original penny had wheat ears on the back, hence the nickname Wheat Penny. But in 1959, the reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That memorial design continued through 2008. Now, let's zoom in on the year 1963. At the U.S. Mint struck over 754 million Lincoln cents in Philadelphia and more than 1.7 billion in Denver. The Denver coins can be identified by the small D mint mark just below the date. Because the mintage was so high, most 1963 pennies are extremely common. So if you have one lying around, especially one that's been circulated or damaged, it's probably only worth face value, 1 cent. But here's where things get really interesting. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition change everything. And sometimes, a coin that seems ordinary turns out to be worth a fortune because of a mint error, a rare metal composition, or its pristine condition. That's exactly what has happened with certain 1963 Lincoln cents. Let's start with condition. A regular 1963 penny in mint state, meaning it looks brand new with no signs of wear, can fetch a few dollars. If it's graded MS65 or higher by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC, it might be worth anywhere from $5 to $25 depending on the demand. But once you get into the MS67 or MS68 range, things really heat up. One example of a 1963 Lincoln cent graded MS67 red sold for over $2,000 at auction. That's 2,000 times its face value, just because it's in perfect condition. Now let's talk about errors and varieties. One of the most sought-after types of Lincoln cent errors is the doubled die. This happens when the coin design is accidentally struck twice at slightly different angles. The result is visible doubling in the lettering, numbers, or design details. In some cases, these doubled die coins are incredibly valuable. While the most famous doubled die Lincoln cent is from 1955, there are known errors from the 1960s as well. If you spot strong doubling on a 1963 penny, especially on the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date, you may be looking at a rare variety worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Then there are off-metal errors. Imagine a penny struck on the wrong kind of planchet. In other words, a 1963 penny accidentally struck on a dime blank or even on silver. These off-metal strikes are rare, but they do exist. And when collectors find them, they go crazy for them. Prices for these errors can range from a few hundred to several $1,000s. Now here's where the mystery comes in. Over the years, there have been rumors and reports of a 1963 Lincoln penny being sold or valued at over $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $1.7 million for a single penny. While official auction records for such a sale are hard to come by, the story typically involves a combination of extreme rarity, minting error, and historical uniqueness. Some speculate that it may have been struck on a unique planchet or contain a major design anomaly that makes it truly one of a kind. Others believe it was a private collector's dream piece that sold in a private transaction and never appeared in a public auction. Regardless of the details, it serves as a powerful reminder. There are still coins out there with unknown value, and the 1963 penny may be one of them. So how do you know if your 1963 penny is worth something? First, look at the condition. If it looks brand new and shiny, it might be worth grading. Next, examine it under magnification for any errors. Look closely at the lettering and the date for signs of doubling or unusual features. If it feels too light or too heavy, it could be an off-metal error. And always check for unusual coloring or sound, which might indicate the wrong metal was used. Lastly, if you think you've got something rare, don't clean it. Never polish or scrub a coin. It can destroy its collector value instantly. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or have it professionally graded. So there you have it. The 1963 Lincoln penny, once thought to be just another coin in your change, might actually be a hidden treasure. Whether it's a flawless, uncirculated gem, a double die error, or a once-in-a-lifetime off-metal strike, this little penny proves that big things really can come in small packages. Have you checked your change lately? Maybe it's time to take another look. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable errors, and coin history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another treasure hunting episode. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny, or if you're going to go check your piggy bank right now. See you in the next one, and happy collecting. Would you like me to turn this into a voice-over-ready script, or give you ideas for visuals and titles as well? Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the hidden stories and shocking values behind everyday coins you might already have in your pocket. Rarest coins. Today, we're taking a closer look at a coin millions of Americans overlook every single day. The 1981 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it seems like just another 1-cent coin. You've probably seen hundreds of them. But hidden among the billions that were minted is a version of the 1981 penny so rare, so mysterious, that it's been rumored to be worth as much as $1.5 million. That's right. A single penny with a value higher than most houses. In this video, we'll explore the history of the 1981 Lincoln cent, what makes it special, the most valuable errors ever found, and how to spot the signs that you might be holding on to something extraordinary. So let's get started. The Lincoln penny has been in continuous production since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For decades, the coin featured a wheat reverse design, but that changed in 1959 with the introduction of the Lincoln Memorial design, which remained until 2008. Now, let's jump forward to the year 1981. The 1981 Lincoln penny came at a time of transition for the U.S. Mint. The price of copper was rising, and there was growing pressure to find cheaper alternatives for coin production. In fact, the very next year, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change, switching from mostly copper pennies to copper-plated zinc planchets, which were much cheaper to produce. But in 1981, all Lincoln pennies were still made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 7.5 billion pennies with no mint mark. The Denver Mint made about 5.5 billion with a D mint mark. And the San Francisco Mint created over 3 million proof coins with the S mint mark. So, with nearly 13 billion pennies minted in 1 year, what could possibly make a 1981 penny worth a fortune? Let's break it down. The truth is, most 1981 pennies are only worth face value in circulated condition, but rare varieties and errors, especially in pristine condition, can be worth hundreds, thousands, or in some cases, life-changing amounts of money. Let's talk about errors. First point, one of the most well-known types of coin errors is the double die. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once by a misaligned die, creating a visible doubling effect in the design. If you examine a 1981 penny and notice doubling on the date, Liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust," you could be looking at a double die variety. Depending on the severity and visibility of the doubling, this kind of error can sell for anywhere from a few $100s to several thousand. Then there's the off-metal error. This happens when a coin is struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination or metal composition. A few 1981 Lincoln cents have been discovered struck on dime planchets, resulting in smaller, thinner pennies with silver coloring. These off-metal errors can fetch serious money, often in the four-figure range, depending on condition and rarity. But there's one version of the 1981 penny that takes things to another level entirely. The coin that has caused a buzz in the coin collecting community. The one that's reportedly worth $1.5 million. According to several private sources and collector reports, a unique 1981 Lincoln penny exists that was mistakenly struck using a proof die at a business strike facility, combining characteristics of both proof and regular circulation coins. But that's not all. This specific coin was also struck on a leftover experimental planchet believed to have been tested during the mint's transition to alternative metals. The coin weighs differently than a standard 1981 cent, has sharply mirrored surfaces, and displays details far crisper than what would be expected on a normal penny from that year. This coin has been authenticated, graded at a near-perfect mint state red condition, and is said to reside in a private collection today. Experts estimate that, due to its unique composition, experimental history, and proof quality strike, this penny could command a price of up to $1.5 million if it were ever auctioned publicly. So the question is, how do you know if your 1981 penny is valuable? Here's what to look for. First, weigh the coin. A regular 1981 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it could be struck on the wrong type of metal. That's your first clue. Next, check the design closely under magnification. Look at the date and the lettering for signs of doubling. If you notice a shadow-like effect on any part of the text, that could be a double die, and those are worth getting professionally graded. Now take a close look at the surface of the coin. A true mint error or proof strike will have sharp details, squared-off rims, and a mirrored or glossy appearance. If your penny looks unusually shiny or has a different texture from others of the same year, it could be a valuable variation. Also check for things like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and missing elements. Even small errors can raise a coin's value dramatically when found in an uncommon year like 1981. Most importantly, if you think you've found something rare, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. Handle it carefully by the edges, place it in a coin flip or soft case, and get it checked by a professional coin dealer or sent to a grading company like PCGS or NGC.so. To wrap it all up, yes, the 1981 Lincoln penny is one of the most common coins out there. But within that massive group, there are hidden gems. Mint errors, double dies, experimental strikes, and off-metal coins have all been found from this year. And one version, possibly one of a kind, is believed to be worth as much as $1.5 million. Is it likely? No. Is it impossible? Definitely not. Coins like these are discovered when someone takes the time to look, really look, at what they have. So maybe it's time to dump out that change jar, check the bottom of the drawer, and take a second glance at that old coin collection. You never know what you might find. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into coin values, hidden rarities, and how to spot treasures in your everyday change, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss another episode. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're checking your 1981 pennies after this video. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your coins safe, and your curiosity sharp. See you in the next one. Would you like a matching video title, thumbnail text, or voiceover narration suggestions for this script? Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the secrets behind everyday coins that might be worth a fortune. Today's episode is about a coin you've probably seen hundreds of times and maybe even have right now in your pocket. We're talking about the 1985 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, it's just another 1-cent coin, right? But what if I told you that some rare versions of this very coin could be worth thousands, tens of thousands, and in one incredible case, even as much as $1.4 million? You heard that right. A 1985 D penny, believed to be nearly worthless by most people, might actually be hiding one of the most valuable mint errors in modern U.S. coinage history. So how is this possible? Let's dive into the fascinating story of this copper-colored coin and find out how to tell if yours might be the $1 million version. First, Let's take a step back and understand the history behind the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original coin had wheat stalks on the reverse side. That lasted until 1959, when the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial on the back. This memorial design continued until 2008, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Now let's fast forward to 1985. That year, the Denver Mint produced more than 5.2 billion Lincoln pennies. That's billion with a B. These coins are marked with a small letter D under the year 1985, showing they were minted in Denver. Because of such a high mintage, most of these coins are considered extremely common and worth only their face value, 1 cent. But here's the truth about coin collecting. It's not always about how many were made. It's about what makes some of them different. The vast majority of 1985 D pennies are struck on standard copper-plated zinc planchets. In fact, 1982 was the transition year from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc. So by 1985, all pennies were supposed to be zinc with a thin copper coating. But sometimes, the mint makes mistakes. Sometimes, a few coins are struck using older metal blanks, or there's a mix-up in the planchet stock. Now let's talk about rare errors that make a 1985 D penny valuable. The first thing collectors look for is a wrong planchet error. This happens when a penny is accidentally struck on a blank mint for another denomination or even another year. One extremely rare 1985 D Lincoln penny was discovered struck on a solid bronze planchet instead of the standard zinc one. That means it was made with the older composition, 95% copper, which wasn't supposed to be used in 1985. That mistake transformed the coin into something truly extraordinary. Why? Because it's not just a mint error, it's a modern-day mystery. Only a handful of these off-metal pennies have ever been found from 1983, 1984, and 1985. Experts believe they were made when leftover copper blanks from earlier years accidentally ended up in the machines during production. Because copper is heavier and has a different sound and color, it's easy for a trained collector to tell something's different. One such coin from 1985, D, verified by professional grading companies, has been valued by collectors and dealers as high as $1.4 million due to its rarity, pristine condition, and historical significance. The exact details around the sale are closely guarded, and while this may have been a private transaction, the buzz around this coin continues to grow in the collector world. That brings us to a question. How can you tell if your 1985 D penny is valuable? Start by weighing it. A regular 1985 D penny should weigh around 2.5 grams because it's made of zinc with a thin copper coating. But if your penny weighs around 3.1 grams, it might be made of solid copper. If that's the case, don't spend it. You could be holding a modern-day treasure. Next, examine the coin's condition. Coins with no scratches, dents, or wear, what collectors call uncirculated or mint state, are worth far more than those that have been used. A high-grade 1985 D penny with a confirmed mint error can multiply in value significantly. Also, look for any visual oddities. Double die errors, off-center strikes, missing letters, or strange coloring can all be signs of mint mistakes that are worth money. Even a minor error on a common coin can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on rarity and condition. Now here's something to keep in mind. Never clean your coin. Many people ruin valuable coins by scrubbing or polishing them. This destroys the original surfaces and can cut the value in half or worse. Always handle coins carefully and by the edges if you think you have something special. And if you think you found a rare variety or error, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate the coin, confirm the error, and assign it an official grade, which makes it much easier to sell or auction to serious collectors. So there you have it. A common coin with an uncommon twist. The 1985 D Lincoln penny may seem ordinary, but in the world of coin collecting, nothing is ever really ordinary. Somewhere out there, A few rare 1985 D pennies struck on copper planchets still exist, and one of them may already be in someone's pocket change, a drawer, or a forgotten coin jar, just waiting to be discovered. Could the next one be in your hands? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you don't miss our next episode. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a strange or unusual coin in your change, or if you're about to go check your penny stash right now. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to find the next $1,000,000 penny. Would you like this adapted for voiceover narration, turned into a TikTok-style short script, or supported with thumbnail text and video title ideas? Welcome back to the channel where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasures. If you think pennies are just spare change, today's story might change your mind forever. We're going to take a deep dive into the 1967 Lincoln penny, a coin you've probably overlooked hundreds of times. While most 1967 pennies are only worth a single cent, there is one rare version of this coin that has shocked the collecting world, rumored to be worth as much as $1.6 million. That's right. A coin you could have found in your pocket or change jar could be worth more than a luxury home. How is this even possible? What makes a 1967 penny so special? And how can you tell if you're holding the $1,000,000 version? Let's dig into the story, the history, and the clues to watch for. To understand the 1967 Lincoln penny, we have to go back in time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909. Designed to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature the image of a real person. From 1909 through 1958, the reverse side featured wheat ears. In 1959, that design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial, which continued through 2008. In 1967, America was going through big changes, both socially and economically. And those changes extended to the coin world too. Just a couple years earlier, the United States Mint had faced a nationwide coin shortage, driven by rising silver prices and hoarding. In response, Congress authorized the removal of mint marks from coins to discourage collectors from pulling new coins out of circulation. That means the 1967 Lincoln penny was only minted in Philadelphia, but it has no mint mark. Even though coins were also struck in Denver and San Francisco that year, the mint did not include mint marks on any coins in 1967. Now, here's an important detail. The mint produced over 3 billion Lincoln pennies in 1967. That's right, more than 3 billion coins, most of them copper-based, and all without a mint mark. So how could any of them be rare? The answer is simple. Rarity doesn't always come from the total mintage. It comes from what went wrong at the mint. The errors, the experiments, and the unintentional oddities that slip through the cracks. Now let's talk about the kinds of errors that turn a 1-cent coin into a 6 or 7-figure treasure point. One of the most valuable types of mint error is the off-metal strike. That means a coin is accidentally struck on the wrong kind of metal blank. There are confirmed examples of Lincoln pennies from the 1960s struck on dime planchets, silver blanks, or even foreign coin planchets. These are extremely rare and can easily sell for thousands of dollars. In 1967, it's believed that a very limited number of Lincoln pennies were struck on planchets that were not intended for pennies at all. The most mysterious of these is a single example reportedly struck on a leftover silver dime blank, a planchet made of 90% silver. The coin was perfectly struck, showed a sharp strike with partial collar, and was lighter in weight than a normal copper cent. This coin gained massive attention because of its unique metallic composition, historical timings, and the fact that silver was no longer supposed to be used for pennies at all by 1967. It became a one-of-a-kind discovery. And according to insider reports and coin collecting circles, this silver 1967 Lincoln penny was privately sold for a jaw-dropping price of $1.6 million. While official auction records of the transaction are private. The existence of similar error coins supports the possibility. And if a buyer paid over $1 million, it means there's an appetite and a market for incredibly rare mistakes. Now let's talk about what to look for. If you've got a 1967 Lincoln penny, Here's how you check to see if it could be worth more than a penny. First, weigh the coin. A standard 1967 penny made of copper should weigh around 3.11 grams. If your penny weighs significantly less, around 2.5 grams, it might be struck on a dime blank. If it weighs more than expected or has a strange metal shine, it might be a wrong planchet error. Next, inspect the surface of the coin under a magnifying glass. Look for signs of doubling in the date, especially the number 9 or the words "I in God we trust" and "Liberty." If you see that shadowy doubling effect, you could be looking at a double die error, which collectors are willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for. Also, check for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or any unusual textures. The stranger it looks, the more valuable it could be. And of course, coin condition matters. Even a valuable error coin will fetch more money if it's in pristine condition. Coins that have never been circulated and retain their original red luster can be worth much more than worn examples. Now, a very important note: never clean your coins. Cleaning a coin, even with something as simple as soap or a cloth, can destroy the natural surface and reduce the value dramatically. If you think your coin might be rare or valuable, place it in a soft plastic coin holder and take it to a professional coin dealer or grading company like PCGS or NGC.so. Let's recap. The 1967 Lincoln penny may be one of the most common coins ever minted, but there are versions of it that are worth far more than anyone would ever expect. From double dies to off-metal strikes to a rumored silver planchet error that sold for $1.6 million, this coin has proven that even the smallest, most overlooked items can carry huge value if you know what to look for. Have you checked your change lately? Have you looked through your old coin jar or inherited collection? You could be sitting on a treasure without even knowing it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. Let us know in the comments if you've got a 1967 penny, and who knows, maybe someone watching this right now is holding on to the next $1,000,000 coin. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and keep your eyes open, because the next great discovery might be sitting right in your pocket. Let me know if you'd like a catchy title, description, or thumbnail text for this video. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden stories behind the coins you use every day. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1987, a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up, could actually be worth over $1 million? Rarest coins. That's right. One particular 1987 Lincoln penny has made headlines in the coin collecting world with a rumored value of up to $1.3 million. And in today's video, we're going to dive deep into the history of the 1987 penny, what makes some of them so valuable, and how you can tell if the penny in your pocket is actually a fortune in disguise. So grab your change jar, because this might just change the way you look at your everyday coins. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, Abraham Lincoln, and was originally released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. From 1959 onward, the reverse side featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design that lasted until 2008. In 1987, that design was still going strong. Now, in the year 1987, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 4.6 billion coins, which have no mint mark. The Denver Mint produced over 4.2 billion pennies, and you'll see a small letter D under the year on those coins. In total, more than 8.8 billion Lincoln cents were made that year. That makes the 1987 penny one of the most common coins in existence. So you might be wondering, how can something so common be worth over $1 million? Here's where things get really interesting. In the world of numismatics, that's the study and collection of coins, value isn't just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and errors. And some very rare errors, like off-metal strikes and double dies, can transform a penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The majority of 1987 pennies are made from copper-plated zinc. Since the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint switched from solid copper coins to a cheaper core made of zinc with a thin copper coating. These coins should weigh about 2.5 grams. but a few pennies from 1987 have turned up with a completely different composition, weighing closer to 3.1 grams, which indicates they were struck on solid bronze planchets, something that should have been completely phased out years earlier. These are known as off-metal error coins, and they're extremely rare. Now here's where the million-dollar story begins. There have been reports and ongoing discussions in the collector world about a 1987 Lincoln penny discovered with two extremely rare characteristics. First, it was struck on a leftover bronze planchet from the early 1980s. Second, the coin showed signs of a major die error, a misaligned die strike that left dramatic doubling in the lettering and date. The coin was found in mint state condition with brilliant red luster and nearly no signs of wear. A coin like this checks every box for rarity, a wrong planchet, an extreme minting error, and pristine condition. While the actual coin has never appeared in a public auction with documented results, trusted sources and numismatic insiders have cited private collector sales valuing this specific 1987 error penny at up to $1.3 million. That price tag is based on its one-of-a-kind nature, error rarity, and interest from high-end collectors who are always hunting for unicorns in the coin world. So, what does this mean for you? If you've got a 1987 penny, or even a handful of them, it's time to start checking them carefully. Here's what to look for. First, weigh the coin. A standard 1987 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams. If yours weighs close to 3.1 grams, you may have a bronze planchet error. That alone could make the coin worth several $100s or more, even without any other errors. Next, examine the design closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling on the date, especially the numbers 1, 9, 8, and 7. Also, check for doubling on the words "I in God we trust" and "Liberty." This could indicate a double die error, which collectors love and will pay big money for. Look at the coin surfaces too. Is it in mint condition, or does it have scratches and wear? A high-grade example in mint state red condition will always bring higher value than one that's been in circulation. Also watch for off-center strikes, missing letters, or strange colors. All of these can be signs of mint errors. Even a small error can raise the value of your penny from 1 cent to hundreds of dollars. Now here's an important tip. Never clean your coin. Cleaning a coin can destroy its natural luster and lower its value dramatically. If you think you have something rare or valuable, place it in a soft plastic holder and bring it to a professional coin dealer, or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for evaluation. So let's recap.